Right, hello guys, you're watching the Geek Cinema, and today we're talking about The Empire of Death. Yes, the series final that I just watched in cinema. Yeah, I watched it in cinema, and it was a nice experience, but it was mad because I didn't think there was that many people packed in my cinema, and people dressed up, and people had like about 10 or 8 people had the sonic screwdriver doing the Sonic at the beginning, which was, I was glad they didn't do that throughout the cinema because that would have been but yeah, also so Coventry got a reference, which is where I'm from, and obviously in the cinema when Coventry come on and everyone was like, "Way!" so that was a thing. That's the experience from the cinema. It was nice, it was cool, and we had part 1, then we had a mini interview between the 2 episodes with a message from Millie Gibson saying thank you for watching it in the cinema and thank you for continuing throughout the series and stuff like that. A little nice Millie Gibson message, which was nice. And then we jumped on to the 2nd episode. And then that was it. Titles ended, and that was the end of the cinema. I left. So let's get on to the review of this now. So that was my cinema experience. I thought this was really good. It was a good, solid final. I think it was one of the best of the series. I'm not sure whether I enjoy episode 2, The Devil's Cord, or this one as the best. I don't know yet. But I do know I enjoyed this a hell of a lot. I feel like Sutex was kind of shafted and wasted in a way. Like, I felt like we didn't have much essence. So basically he got his minions to do the work, like he did in the classic episode. In the classic episode, Period of Mars, he got his minions to do all the work because he was trapped. Now he's not trapped. I felt like all his minions did all the work. And I wanted to see him do all the work. I wanted to see all that. Which was a shame because like he's finally out of his prison. Let's see what he can do, and he does nothing. He just sits on his throne and just goes, "I am the god of death. I am this. I am that. I will find you." And then he's got all these other minions doing all the bidding, basically. And then the Doctor gets Sutex on his leash and literally flips him into the time vortex, dangling and everything. But we'll get on to that. So yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with Sutex kind of aspect. So yeah, Sutex, he's the big bad. He's the biggest I've ever fought. For me, he's not the best villain in Doctor Who, and I don't think this helps that in my mind. But still, the CGI in him look, and him dangling in the vortex, Mrs. Flood, she got killed. Everyone got killed. Unit soldiers, they all disintegrated. Kate's last words. And as soon as Kate disintegrated, I was like, it's getting reversed. This is a reversed episode, which it was. Everything got reversed. You take Sutex out the equation and flip him through the time vortex, makes everyone come back to life. Happy days. But they all have echoes and shivers of actually turning to dust. So, they're a bit scarred, everyone is, and don't want to mention it, it looks like. But also the aspect of literally, it felt like Endgame, the Infinity War, where Thanos does the snap and everyone just... but also the aspect of Spider-Man No Way Home with the ripples of the time vortex breaking through. It felt like that with Doctor Strange just holding everything together. It did give me that vibe. Now, the mystery of Ruby's mom. Turns out it's just an ordinary woman, and she got jiggy with someone else who then gets moved. Or something mentioned Coventry in the cinema went wild. I was like, "Oi!" Everyone was like, "Oi!" So that was cool. But I have no clue whether it's like he lives in Coventry now or his parents live in there. I don't know, but something happens in Coventry which we're down with. Anyway, moving past that. The dad doesn't really get any limelight, just mentioned, and Ruby's going to go off at the end of the episode and find him. So that's cool. We didn't know he had a door even existed, so that's the thing. But yeah, the mom gets actual visual representation. We see images of Ruby's mom on the screen on Unit, then we go and see her. And I love that Shooty's like, maybe we shouldn't do it. And Ruby's just like, how can I do this? I'm going to drink. My name's Ruby. Say it out loud so she can hear. And I'm going to do a thing, okay? Ruby, oh, that's me. That's my Guffy. That was a thing that happened, and I liked it. I thought the reunion was quite nice. Obviously, not just sidelining. See your foster parents. We got them, and we've got the mom. And she noticed she didn't say mom that much. She said by the actual mom's real name. I'm going to see this with not mom, the real name of that actor. So that's a thing. There's bridges there. There's steps of, do I call her mom yet or do I not? Does she earn the title? That's what I liked as well. That was subtle, which is a fostering thing. It is kind of a thing that happens, you know. I liked it. Anyway, that being said, we go on to something else now. Mrs. Flood appears again. That's the end of Ruby's story. But the doctors, and she's all white and she goes off with a little suitcase. So we're gonna see her next season, even if Ruby's story's all wrapped up and done, which is kind of cool. And it's like, how are we going to deal with Mrs. Flood then? So Ruby's got to come back because Mrs. Flood's right next door to her. Turns out Mrs. Flood's going off somewhere else and we're going to find her again. That's happening. Well, we got some lovely footage of Tom Baker and Sarah Jane from Period of Mars on the screen. We also got 73 Yards reference to Hard to Death. So I would suggest you watch that episode and you don't skip to the final if you are going to watch this all. If you're not going to watch it all, you're just going to skip to the final. You do have to use some backlog stuff from other episodes. Also, the aspect of using Susan Triad, Susan Twist, in everywhere the Doctor's landed. And all them are all lovely references, even from New Who and old Classic Who. We got loads of references left, right, centre, even the TV movie, you know. But anyway, Susan Triad's dropped off in every aspect, and her life actually is real. So there's just loads of Susan Triads everywhere, really. But they are real. There are real people. How they were Sutex bringing her to life so she can turn the dust and spread it when he needs it. So that actually happened, and then the universe got destroyed. Sutex, mind control, manipulating others with Susan Triad, the unit Harbinger, whatever her name is, and some other person, and of course Mel. Mel was a cool twist, but I also liked Mel. She didn't tell the Doctor, but he worked it out, and I thought when he sent Mel away, I was like, the Doctor's clocked on here. He's clocked on, which he did. And the whistle came to play as well. You know, that's so Matt Smithy. The whistle actually had a massive impact of flying the TARDIS, doing the right corners, I guess, and then taking Sutex into the vortex and stuff. But Sutex his goal was to wipe out everything so he can just sit in eternity in his empire of death, which is very similar to what Maestro wanted, the toy maker's child from the Devil's Cord. She wanted everything to dust. So it's quite similar vibes. But yeah, we went to the future at one point. We dealt with the past in the previous episode in some VHR way. But yeah, I think this connected quite well as a full story, because Stephen Moffat is like, here's one story, here's the second part that has nothing like the first story and it's a totally different vibe. Whereas this felt you could watch part 1 and part 2 and it'd be cohesive. The same vibe is what I'm trying to say. It could be that, which I liked. It was different because Doctor Who normally does one vibe and then goes completely different vibe for the next part. It felt like one story. All the death effects, the ash was real cool. And the music was on point. Shooty crying from start to finish. It just loses its impact, sadly. But Shooty's performance was a win. Absolutely incredible. Millie Gibson, absolutely credible. And her departure, I guess, because we know she's in the next series, unless they just brought her in to trick the audience into thinking she's in next series, but actually she's just been paid to walk around on set to get people thinking she's in the next series, which doesn't work that well with the newspapers messing up at that, I guess. But anyway, so we may be wrapped up completely with Ruby or we're not. But this episode, it's getting a 9 out of 10. More and more I talk about it, it is probably my favourite of the series. A 9 out of 10, loved it. I'm going to watch it again. So that's my thoughts and opinions, guys. What do you think of this? Let me know down below. And of course, subscribe and follow for more geeky content like Spider-Man, Doctor Who, Rick and Morty, you know, it really pays to be for a geek like me. So join and subscribe. I'll see you guys from the video soon. Have a nice day. Enjoy me for series 2 when that comes around.